Alright guys, how's it going? Welcome back. It's Blaze, back with some more One Piece Market Watch content. I recorded this whole video about sealed. Last time I talked about singles, I was supposed to follow it right up with a video about sealed, but this new camera setup I got here, I didn't realize that it made the view like wider when I did the window overlay, and so it covered up all the sold prices. So I had to push the video back, re-record the whole thing, which is what I'm doing now. But yeah, I'm back now. I got better camera, way higher quality, new mic. Hopefully this just makes the whole experience more enjoyable for everybody. Another reminder that you can enter into my giveaway to win this Gear 5 Luffy card. Oh yeah, see, now when I show y'all cards, you can really see the quality on it. But all you gotta do is like this video, subscribe to my channel, and drop a comment down below. I'm about to have my Instagram account in the description as well. You can follow me on there. That's not required for the giveaway, but yeah, do all that and you can be entered to win this Gear 5 Luffy Alt Art OP9 card. So let's get into the market watch. All right, now today we're going to be talking about sealed. Let's get into it. Starting off looking at these Romance Dawn white bottom cases. These are all the way up to almost $22,000 now. Now, are they selling at that price? We have yet to see sales that high, but we have seen sales at 12, 15, 14. Previously to that, we were seeing them at 10. None of them have really sold since the prices got hiked up this high, so I don't know if I would really trust this. The actual data seems to suggest that they're more around the 14 to 15 range realistically, but we'll see if people start lowering them. People seem like they've been holding at 22 for a while. So we got OP9 headed up, getting close to 10K now, sitting at 9. We're seeing sales at a little under 9. Previously it was looking at 6, 5 to 6. This is an almost double in price here that we've seen since the beginning of the month. Is this sustainable? I don't know. We'll see. We'll find out. EVO2 up to 15,000. Where are we seeing sales? Last sale at 7,200. Again, these are pretty intensely multiplied up from the last previous confirmed sale. This is more than double the last time of what it actually sold for. So should you actually trust these prices? I don't know. It really depends on what the sellers do, right? So if the sellers hold strong here and refuse to let them come down, obviously they're setting the prices, but we will see. In the long term, I suspect these are going to come down significantly. I don't see how it makes sense for EB to be that high when these OP9 cases are not even selling for 10 grand, for them to be at 14. I don't know. Let's look at EVO2. These are around 4K. To me, this seems like these are real prices. These are not the top hyperinflated ones. I think you're gonna see consistent sales at around $4,000. You got one 3,999, 4,400's a little high. You're seeing them pretty consistently at 3, a little under 4. This being up at 440 or 4,400. It doesn't seem like completely divorced from reality to me. This actually seems like it's tracking with consistent growth patterns that we've been seeing over time, right? I think you can say the same thing about OP9. These are looking like pretty consistent growth patterns. You're seeing a bunch at 44, 44, 44. Round it up, say around 45, and then look, that's the consistent selling price that we're seeing for cases. Lots of people listing them at 44 to 45. Significant growth, obviously, recently, but like we're not seeing over 100% growth or something here. This seems like it reflects the general trajectory of the market, and it seems like it reflects that people are realizing, you know, just how good this set is. And then sitting right above a case for that, you have singular blue bottom booster boxes for OP01. Oh, Cat's back. I think he might be making frequent appearances now. Say hi, bud. Yep. He's figured out when I'm recording videos. Yeah, you gotta be in my videos now, huh? Look at that long boy. Very, very nice. Alright, buddy, you wanna hang out my lap? These have been pretty consistent. All the data seems to suggest that this is what these are worth, and people are consistently buying them for this price. So I would not consider this to be inflated at all. These are also following growth patterns that we've seen and come to expect. Paramount War, similarly, I would still consider this to be more around 3,500. I think 45 might be a bit ambitious. But the one thing that I think is really interesting to see here is that PRBO2 is still going for just a little bit over 2K here at 2,400. This is not that much higher comparatively than it was to when it came out. And yeah, you're seeing people buy cases of this up. I think if I had the money to do it right now, I would be doing that too. This is not financial advice, but if I was gonna buy a case of sealed product right now, I think I would be going for the one that's got, you know, this Sanji manga. We've got the manga rare Gum Gum giant alt art. We've got so much good stuff. I'm not sure this Pudding SP being the highest. I guess it makes sense. I mean, this is a card that, from a playability perspective, this card in any blue deck can be absolutely devastating if played at the right time. And then everybody knows how I feel about this. I don't understand how y'all are letting this sit at 182. Like, the fact that this has been sitting here for this whole time is crazy to me. When it's about to jump up to 314. If y'all don't buy this, I might. Oh yeah, let me now that I have the nice camera. But no, the quality of the foiling on this card is insane. I think this card is one of the nicest Luffy SPs they've ever printed. Yeah, this set I think has some really, really good stuff in it. Again, the Shanks, all these SPs, this Rebecca SP. This is the nicest Rebecca SP for sure. No question. This consistently going for 180, like, that makes sense. The Luffy, I don't understand how this hasn't popped up yet. But I feel like as far as sealed goes, for cases, I mean, PRB seeming pretty nice. Now these treasure boosters have absolutely exploded, and I think it's really just down to the fact that it's possible to get OP01 packs from these. OP05 packs obviously are worth a lot as well, but chances are you're going to end up with OP02, OP03, OP04, and it's not going to be worth that much, but it's a gambling kind of thing here. Now 1,800 for 4 sets of treasure boosters seems kind of insane to me, but theoretically I guess I see where people are coming from on this, just because of what sets are included, right? And are they actually selling at these prices? Not quite, but you're seeing sales at 1,400, 1,500. The value seems very real with the treasure boosters, and to be honest, I kind of forgot about these. I bought a couple of these back in the day, and I ripped them all. I didn't keep any of them sealed, but man, am I wishing I did keep some sealed now, because this is crazy. Like, we're seeing, if we go to the single ones, yeah, we're seeing these guys sell for 130 each. That's more than some booster boxes. Crazy to me to think that these individual treasure boosters are selling for more than OP08, OP12 boxes. Romance Dawn packs up to 114. I mean, that's why right there. Just that alone. The fact that these could have OP01 in them. But let's take a look at some single boxes. We got OP05 here, holding pretty steady in the high 700s, just under 800. These got up to like 800 and change and then kind of stabilized out. People are, pretty consistently buying these around the 780, 770 range, and I think this kind of makes sense for where the market's at right now. I think 800 was the slight like overestimation of the set, right? And so now it's corrected back down to hanging out just a little bit under there. Same thing with EVO1. I mean, this was up to $1,000 a couple days ago. Now we are seeing it sit at around 800 and change. And yeah, we're seeing consistent sales at, see, somebody bought it for 1,000. These people got a little overzealous with it, but 800, 900. Not sure why somebody bought it for 900 today, but maybe this listing wasn't up. We're seeing all unverified. So yeah, verified, the lowest is 930. But it's corrected slightly back down from that 1K, right? That we overshot a little bit there, and then now it's smoothing back out. It's coming back to reality a little bit. Still really, really high valued, very premium sealed product, but not stratospheric, right? Not completely obviously overvalued. We got PRBO1 following it up around 733, 740. I think PRBO1 sitting at around 740 makes sense. We're seeing consistent sales around this price point. This kind of following behind, OP05 and EBO1 seems logical to me. OP09's been holding pretty strong around 420-ish. Getting sales pretty consistently there. This, to me, this is one of the ones that I think is a good investment. If I was looking to invest right now into some single boxes, I think OP09 is a good place to do it. We've talked about this before, but if you're new here, I mean, the depth of this set is pretty crazy. You've got the Roger manga, obviously. I don't think you'll get 30 grand for it, but huge manga. You got the 4 Emperor mangas, and you've got all of these wanted posters. You got, of course, the Nami SP, which has corrected back down to around 700. Was like at 1,000, but still one of the best SPs. The Boa SP, another one of the best SPs, without a doubt. Much better than the OP04 Boa, in my opinion. This Zorojuro, the Dragon, the Rob Lucci, and the Rosinante. People don't care too much about these, but you also have this really nice treasure rare here. He's going for a near mint around. So these have corrected back down to about 60. They were going for 70 there for a little while, but I mean, I think this is a card you can expect to have a pretty decent amount of consistency to it. We got the Roger alts. These are going for a lot now because Roger's very highly played currently in the format. But just really, really good set here. I see no reason not to expect this to keep consistently going up over the years. Maybe not to the degree OP05 is, but in a similar fashion, right? And then, of course, we have Pillars of Strength, hanging out a little under 400. I don't fully understand this. I guess it's just because it's older and it has these original wanted posters maybe, but like there's really nothing in the set that justifies this too much to me. I think it's purely just, it's an older set. Anything pre-OP05 now is like going to be seen as just a premium for sealed product. You're seeing pretty consistently everything hanging around 400. Everything that's pre-OP05, obviously other than 01, which is, you know, at a massive premium. You got OP13 hanging out around 300, a little over 300. We've seen sales for, yeah, over 300, 330, 320. This box is just doing its thing. I mean, for how new this is, it's really crazy. The whole red manga chase fever seems to really be working. And I'm seeing people post, you know, on the Facebook group and stuff, about pulling the red mangas all the time. And it definitely like has a psychological effect, you know. I'm like, man, what if I did pull a red manga? The card shop down the street from me had somebody come in there and sell a red manga that they bought from the freaking Five Below that I go buy cards at. I was like, wow, man, that should have been me. What the hell? So it does have an effect. I do understand. EVO2 hanging out around that same price point, 330, 340. I think people have gotten hip to just the level of chase of. Now this is extremely fake. This is extremely inflated. Nobody's buying this card for $7,000. This is like very, very clear market manipulation from the EV vault. Like, this is just literally Pokemon people doing this. But yeah, I mean, I guess somebody bought it at over $1,000, but as far as I can tell, they're like the only one. Yeah, somebody listed one for like an actual reasonable price, and they're just getting bought up really fast whenever a real one goes on the market. This Luffy was at $1,000. It's come down, but I mean, I don't think anyone actually bought it at $1,000. Yeah, no. And then of course the Gear 2. Everyone knows what I think about the Gear 2. This is one of the best cards in the entire game, for sure. So yeah, we're just seeing people really realize the value of how rare some of these cards are in that, and so it's doing pretty well for that reason. Now, OP6 Wings of the Captain's been coming back down a little bit from where it was, but I still feel like this is a pretty good box. At a little over 200, there's some nice stuff in here. I mean, obviously there's some of the really nice cards, like the alt Gecko Moria are banned, so that really, you know, hurt its value there. But the Zoro manga is a classic. Looks like this Miss All Sunday SP has come down a bit. I think it was higher than this at one point. I think it was like over 300. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Yeah, you got the GTA Nami, right? People like this one. It's a different take, sitting around 180 near mint. Very interesting art style there. The Rebecca SP, the Buggy SP, the Linlin SP. I've talked about a lot of these cards in my singles video. You can go check out. My opinions on them are pretty much the same. I've looked at some of them, and you know, they don't seem to be changing too much. PRB02 down to 200. Somebody just listed this for 200 in like the last 5 minutes. Oh, it's a, yeah, 0% feedback, unverified. So I guess take that with a grain of salt, right? Like, completely unverified on TCG Player, you're taking a little bit of a risk. But now these super pre-release decks, the 4 set is going for 3.5K. I think super pre-release, I wouldn't say 3.5K is reasonable, but yeah, you're seeing these sales for like 1,500, 2,000. I think these will definitely retain a lot of value. They seem a little overvalued right now, but I mean, these are the original decks for the game. This is like some of the original One Piece cards that exist, right? So as far as like long-term collectability goes, pre-release, super pre-release OG 1 through 4 starter decks are a really strong one. Sorry if my talking sounds a little off. I've been sick all week and I'm still fighting back the congestion. I'm done with the worst of the sickness now, but the congestion is still like really affecting, you know, how easy it is for me to breathe easily and to talk for long periods of time. So if my voice sounds like affected by that, it's just because I'm still like kind of getting over it a little bit. You got these second anniversary promotional bundles at 700. Pretty nice. Got the original black and gold promotional bundle. I low-key actually kind of like this one more. I think this is a really good one. At 544, this seems like a much better investment here. Like low volatility. This thing's following a very steady curve. This playmat is super nice. Cards in here are super nice. I guess they're not original arts. They're like different treatments. So maybe that's part of why people put the Emperor's version, you know, above it price-wise. But I would probably put my money here before I put it in this one. But that's just me. I can definitely see a case the other way. This thing's still hanging around. I feel like no one has bought it at these prices. Yeah, highest it sold for is 500. Definitely would not buy this for $800, $900. As I've said before, last time I looked at sealed, I don't think that really makes much sense. People have argued with me about it, but they're wrong. So, yeah. OP11 jumped up for a while, starting to correct a little bit. Seeing it consistently at around 220. I think this makes sense. Obviously, you have, you know, the very popular chase cards like the gold Luffy, the silver Luffy, and the Gear 4 manga, as well as like the Luffy Taro SP, Gear 2 alt art, and then the rest of these SPs. But this is definitely a set where the value all kind of lives at the top here. Like these top 4 Luffy cards are kind of like the whole main value of the set, right? Like this is really what people want, so it's very lottery. But that being said, high potential value, so we're seeing that reflected in the sealed price. As far as devil fruits go, we've got the devil fruit volume 1 sitting at around 160. These are selling for even higher than that, I think. Yeah, high sales 190. So sitting on these devil fruits, you know, maybe not a bad idea. They seem to do well over time. The volume 2 sitting at 80. Looks like selling for around 70. And then the volume 3 is like new, so it's not that important really. But I think they're going for like 35, 40. But all right, let's take a look at Royal Blood. Royal Blood up to 144, down from like 180, 144, 150, 150. This is correcting pretty hard here. Same deal with Two Legends. Less of a harsh correction because I think people always kind of consider this set to be a bit of a flop set. Going at 150. The fact this is above MSRP at all is still pretty crazy though. OP12 still hanging out, you know, down at the bottom here, 134. I've talked before, I seem to be the only one who thinks this, but like the Gold Teach SP and the Bonnie manga, as well as the Dead Man's Game, I feel like this card is somewhat undervalued. It's raising in price very slowly because it's not Luffy. But like this is Blackbeard. This is one of the most iconic villains from the series, and as we get closer to the end of the series, I think he's gonna become a much more, you know, present character than he kind of has been in a while, and we're gonna see the the realization that this card was probably a bit undervalued here. And I feel similarly about the Bonnie manga, so I think investing in 12, you know, it's not going to be a fast return compared to how fast some of these other boxes have gone up. I don't think it's going to like crank up and double your money soon or anything, but if we're talking about long-term stuff to sit on, I still see it as underrated. OP7 being up to 190, I guess is mainly just because this Boa manga exists in it, as well as this Onami SP. Really, really nice card. I think this is one of the best SPs in the game. This is definitely a card that I really hope to own someday. But, I mean, other than that, you know, not too much in here. There's this Boa leader, but you can't just, like, assume every Boa card is going to be worth a ton, you know? I think the worth of OP07, this feels like a super lottery set, right? It's really just, you only care about this Boa or this Nami. Now, these illustration boxes seem to be doing pretty well recently. The Nami and Boa illustration box up to around 120, seeing consistent sales for $100. That's pretty good. It's about doubled. These were going for 50 before, hanging out around 70 for the Yamato and Black Maria illustration box here. You know, I think this is also a pretty good one. We've seen 48% growth. Definitely not as drastic, but this has been a fairly consistent one to hold on to. Illustration box number 1 is probably a safe bet if you want to pick a few up and sit on them. We're starting to see PRBO1 single sleeves going for $44 for a single pack. This seems pretty nuts to me, but it looks like people are actually doing it. People are buying these for $40, $50 for single sleeve PRB packs. Don't fully get that, but we've also got OP05 going for $55, single sealed packs. Pretty insane to see. Consistent sales too, 50, 50, up to 60 as of today. The next verified here going for $70. These single sealed packs are really moving at shockingly high values. Even stuff like OP04 are going for 40. I mean, that's crazy. If you think about that, that's 10 sealed packs is worth the same as a booster box. No, more than a booster box. I don't fully get that. I understand that the odds are more random. You don't have like the weighted odds of the mappability of a box here. But even with that being the case, these seem pretty crazy. Unsleeved dead packs are even going for 27. Are people really buying them? People are really buying these up. That's something I won't understand. Because you know that you're not getting anything out of these packs. So I can only assume people are buying them purely for the purpose of reselling them at like card shows and stuff like that to people who don't know any better. Please don't do that. That's really scummy in my opinion. You're seeing OP09 going for around $25 a booster. People are buying them. 32, 24, 24, 24, 24. High sale 32s. Yeah. These are consistently moving. Sleeved boosters at that price. Okay, well, as far as the most interesting stuff goes for sealed, I think we've really covered most of it. Now, what would I be buying if I wanted to buy into some sealed right now? Would I be buying cases? Would I be buying boxes? If I was going to buy a case, I feel like, to me, this OP09 probably makes the most sense. Maybe not for this much, but if you get one of these around 4K, a little less than 4K, Makes a lot of sense. OP13, you know, this might even still be worth it, honestly. These anniversary sets, it feels crazy. With how new this set is, these prices feel really crazy, but it probably will hold value. If I was buying cases, it'd be either one of those two, or I would go and hit either some EVO2, or honestly the most attractive one to me right now probably is going to be this PRBO2, because if this gets reprinted, it's going to be in a very, very limited capacity. These PRB sets seem like they're gonna be sort of similar to the EB sets in terms of how much they retain rarity by being side sets. And, you know, 2400, I think we're gonna see growth upward from there. Probably not super soon, but in the next year. So yeah, that about does it for me. What do you guys think? I mean, what sets would you think make the most sense to be investing in right now? I personally don't have the money to be sinking, you know, a lot into large amounts of sealed sets, but do you think cases makes more sense? Do you think boxes makes more sense? Are you one of these people who are buying up these loose sleeve packs? That's something I don't really understand, but if somebody wants to explain the logic of that to me, please go ahead. This is all pretty interesting to me. I know more really about singles than about sealed when it comes to, you know, card values and stuff, because with those, a lot of it does have more of an interaction with playability and as well as like what the most popular characters are. But yeah, let's talk about it in the comments, and if you like, subscribe and drop a comment. Don't forget, you got the chance to win this beautiful Gear 5 alternate art Luffy from OP05 here. So subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, like the video, hit me up on Instagram if you want to talk, DM, whatever. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.